All right, my beautiful friends, here we are. Closing bell just went off 5 minutes ago. This is my post-market wrap-up on this Thursday, February 27, 2020. People, stocks cratered today. Cratered. The Dow Jones Industrial Average peeled off 1,200 points. Across the board, 4.5% losses for the major indices. And don't just listen to me, okay? Goldman Sachs, the mega bank, the super bank, the criminal bank, is warning its clients that this is not over. People, I want to show you something. I want to show you something because, again, a picture is worth 1,000 words. This is, again, the bond market. You see all that red? This is from the 1 month all the way out to the 30-year. Cratering. The bond market is cratering. Again, you and I have been told to ignore this. For how long now? It seems like time immemorial. And there's a reason for that. Understand, the people that are telling you not to look at something, they're doing this on purpose. You can't. Do you trust Larry Kudlow? Honestly? He's the guy who for the longest time has been saying ignore the yield curve. Fed presidents are telling you ignore the yield curve. We don't have a yield curve. It's completely inverted. The 1 month is dominating the entire spectrum of debt instruments right now, all the way up to the 30. However, the 30 is yielding about 23 basis points higher. You got to be kidding me. Did you hear what I just said? The 30-year is yielding about, let's make it a round number, 25 basis points more. It's more like 23, 24 than the 1 month. The biggest tell here that I want you to take away from the yield curve and why you've been told to ignore it, the main reason why you've been told to ignore the yield curve is if there has been one asset class throughout history that has never been wrong, it's the yield curve. It's the debt market regarding the economy. The president will continue to lie. Okay, it's a distraction. It's whatever mechanism you think it's good. You want to be lied to, that's fine. They all lie. I understand that. But the fact that the yield curve is cratering for a long time, way before the coronavirus, it's been dropping. I've been covering it. Told you about the first yield curve inversion. It happened 2 years before it happened. 2 years before the yield curve inverted, I said it was coming. Again, I got ridiculed. I got laughed at, made fun of. Well, who came out on top? Me. The Fed jumped in here, tried to normalize the yield curve via this repo mechanism. They pumped $55 billion into the market today alone. That failed. Yield curve is again inverted. The whole curve is dropping. It's cratering. Now, again, this is the biggest tell you ever want to see and why you have been told to ignore it, that our economy here is in free fall. But you will continue to hear the lies. Booming, strong, doing better than anybody else. We have a global economy. Okay? You're not supposed to know that. We are not an island among ourselves. So the stock market got destroyed today. I told you yesterday there's a big fat ugly air gap under this market. That air gap is still there. In fact, it might be even deeper. And Goldman Sachs, the super bank, is warning its clients moving forward. What do you think Goldman Sachs is doing right now? Do you think Goldman Sachs is just warning their clients? JP Morgan, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley. You think these banks are just telling their clients, okay, everyone, the market looks like it's going to go down? No, they're betting against the market, just like me, just like my lions. I told all of you forever that when this moment would come, I would be on the right side of this trade, and so will my lions who I'm taking with me. Okay? All of them. All of you. Today, if you were following me on Twitter or Facebook, wherever you'd like to follow me, I gave you a blow by blow of what to do and what not to do. Earlier in the day, we were down over 900 points, 950. All of a sudden, we get a miraculous turnaround in this market. I told my Lions, don't buy it. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Market almost went positive, reversed down 1,200. This is a game that they play. They set traps for you. You have to stay ahead of them. You understand? If you want to get into this business, or even if you just want to watch it so you have an idea what's going on, understand they set these traps for you. All you needed to do today was understand that crude oil was cratering, the yield curve is cratering, and you're going to know where stocks are going to go. Again, the lies, the distortions, the fakery, look here, don't look here, that's going to continue here. That will continue. The blaming, it's coronavirus. It's all the coronavirus. It's the coronavirus. Every single media outlet, mainstream financial channel is pushing the same narrative. They got the same script. You understand? They must deflect. They must distract. Yes, again, for those of you that are getting chills up your spine, the virus is real. The virus is killing people. It is. 2,000, 3,000, whatever it might be, 4,000, I don't know what it is. Something like that. Yeah, it's a serious thing. But not everything we're seeing here is the coronavirus. It's a market that is so twisted and so distorted that even me, who studies it around the clock, I have a hard time getting my head around it. All I want for me and for you is for us to be on the right side of this market. And to me, again, for a mega bank, Goldman Sachs, to be warning its own clients about this, I guarantee you, they're betting against the market. They're an investment bank. So what are they going to do? They look to hire people like me. I've already had job offers from pretty much half, let's put it that way, of the Wall Street banks. They want to hire Gregory Mannarino. Gregory Mannarino will never work for a Wall Street bank. Ain't happening. They can't buy me. They can't offer me enough money. I don't need it. That's the truth. And to me, it's more important for all of us to come together, to understand what we're looking at. I wouldn't be able to do this blog. Do you think if I were to go to work for JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, one of these banks, they would allow me to do this? No. I would have to leave all of you. And I just hit 100,000 subs. You think I'm leaving you? Ain't happening. I will never let you down. I will never let you down to the best of my ability. Am I always going to be right? No. I am not always going to be right. Not even the mega bank, the super bank, Goldman Sachs is right all the time. Can't happen. But I'm going to give you my best advice, my thoughts, what I'm thinking ahead of time here. So we can, again, try to at least make sense of what's going on here. You understand? Now, I want to cover something else. I know this is getting long, but bear with me. We heard again today from the president, who's practically on his knees, begging for rate cuts, begging for more debt. I hate to see that. I don't want to see this. First of all, let me explain this to you right here and right now. There is no guarantee that if we get rate cuts, which are coming, a series of them, and I told you they were coming before Wall Street knew about it. I told you right here. Now it's the talk. Rate cuts are coming, not one, not two, but possibly three. Okay, you all knew about it first. Gauging for what we're seeing here with regard to the yield curve cratering, I cannot imagine what is possessing the president to say that negative rates or cutting rates more lower than they are now is going to help the problem. How is more debt going to, again, at this point, re-prop up this market? I think, honestly, it probably has run its course here. It's the same as if you have hypertension, high blood pressure, and your doctor keeps throwing medications at you, raising the dose, it's not working, changing the medicine, raising those doses, multiple medications, all of a sudden it don't work anymore. Debt is the problem. It seems like, look, Barack Obama took the situation he was in and threw as much debt as he possibly could. He had the Fed in there with QE1, QE2, Operation Twist, backdoor, banks buying each other's debt under the table. This is still going on here. President Trump didn't want to implement that strategy. He did not want to, but he chose to. He said, hold on a minute. If I adopt this massive debt acquisition cycle or continue it, take it right from Obama, well, guess what will happen? Stocks will vault higher. That's what he's chosen here. And again, what is it manifested itself in? An absolutely distorted stock market that has no bearing on reality. It's disconnected by exponents from our economy that is failing. But the president has been very crafty. Very crafty. He's been saying, look at the stock market, all-time record high. It means our economy is doing well. It's a lie. It is a lie of the highest order. And where do lies come from? Do they come from the light or do they come from the dark? You tell me where lies come from. I think you understand where I'm going with this. So understanding that, again, all this is going to become real. I've explained to you for the longest time. Are we there now? We may very well be at that moment here. And it has nothing to do with deep state conspiracies. They don't want Trump to be president. They're going to crush the market. I mean, you want to talk about brain dead? They don't get that this market has been hyperinflated on the back of a debt bubble, and he did it. And he did it by lying, by telling everyone, economy's booming, strongest ever, go out and borrow. So what did American citizens do? Bury themselves in debt like we have never seen. Again, personal debt, consumer debt, household debt at record highs, and defaults on that debt are on the rise. They're on the rise. And I can promise you, banks like Goldman Sachs, they're not going to lose. They never lose. Don't you understand that? They have guys like me working for them around the clock, following this market, shorting the market, betting against their clients. They know what's going to happen for the most part before it does. Before it does. They make the markets. You understand? They never lose. They never will lose. You're going to get a sacrificial lamb like Lehman Brothers. You think that was real? That was not real. Of course not. The sacrificial lamb during the last meltdown was Lehman Brothers. Bear Stearns got bought out by JP Morgan. This is priced in. They had to pick a sacrificial lamb here so they can show everyone, look what we did. We let a mega bank fail. And what has happened? All these banks now have become way too big to fail. You know who's going to fail? You know who's going to lose? You are, unless you're on the right side of this. Period. I think you get it. Look, what we're witnessing here is very, very simple. It's a mechanism that has been in place for many decades. Many, many, many decades for the central banks to rule the earth, to issue more debt. And again, it really bothers me when I hear, again, the president calling for negative rates and more debt. Like he believes that's going to stop the problem. How would, if we get, let's say, I don't know, let's say all of a sudden a miraculous thing happens and tomorrow the Federal Reserve cuts rates by 1 full percentage point, which would be pretty unfreaking believable. How is that going to stop the spread of a virus? Oh, it won't. Okay. And let me say this too. There is no guarantee that adding fuel to the fire, fuel in the form of debt, is going to stop a damn thing. All it will allow is the Federal Reserve to further issue in their final solution. People, get this through your head. Get it through your head now. Central banks want to issue more debt. Period. That's what they want to do. That's what they exist for. It's their one and only product. They can talk about anything. They have one product. It's debt. The more debt they issue, the stronger they become. When they have a sitting president calling for negative rates and more debt, believe me, they're all euphoric. They love it. This is what they've been working towards for decades, to bring in their final solution, the New World Order. Don't you get it by now? I hope you do. President Trump is not saving the world from a new world order. He's ushering it in on a grand, epic scale. He had every opportunity to turn this around. He didn't have to adopt Obama, his playbook here, to issue more debt. No, he chose to do it by design. He was told what to do. You still think this world is run by presidents, kings, queens, monarchs, or dictators? No, it's run by the banks. Once you get that through your head, it will all be clear to you. There's not going to be any debt jubilee, anything for you. Whatever they come up with is going to be completely against your interests. You understand? We have lost a long time ago. The debt bubble has been hyperinflated by design to reinflate a stock market bubble, a housing bubble, to simply pull the plug, transfer the wealth. The banks gain enormous power, and guess who loses? We do. And we allowed it to happen. We collectively allowed this to happen. It's pathetic. It's pathetic what they have done to society, what they continue to do to society. All of them. One party. Democrats and Republicans. If you're still falling for that, the two-party system, you are more lost than anyone else. They are working in concert here. Okay, you're supposed to think they hate each other. No, they're working together. It's all scripted. Everything you see is scripted. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing at all whatsoever. You are living in a distorted reality if you believe that what you're being shown is real. You understand? I'm going to leave you off with that. All right, so look, stocks cratered today. More losses are probably coming. Goldman Sachs is warning its clients. That should be a big tell. Although I beat them to the chase. I beat Goldman Sachs. Okay? So you can understand why Wall Street banks would like to hire this guy. Ain't happening. No way. Ain't happening. I'm not doing it. I would not do that. No, ain't happening. All right, look, with that said, I'm going to let you off here. Focus on the yield curve. Stock market, yeah, got trounced today, this whole week. But it's the debt market where you got to be looking. And when you hear calls for negative rates, when you hear calls for more debt, start asking questions. Go to @RealDonaldTrump. Okay, that's his Twitter feed. Start asking him, Mr. President, how will negative rates and more debt help me as an American citizen, as a member of the middle class, or whatever class you might be in? I think it's a question the man needs to start answering. He's been screaming from rooftops about it for how many months? How many months? Okay? I think it's time, and I think we deserve an answer. Love you all. Please share the video. Wow. See you tomorrow.